Hello and welcome to the video. Today I'm going to show you how you can add products via upload, and this tool on Amazon is going to be, in my opinion, the best way to add new products to your Amazon catalog, as well as to edit existing listings that you already have on Amazon. And in my opinion, this is the best way because one, it is fastest, especially if you're doing everything in bulk. If you're adding multiple listings or if you're editing multiple listings at once, very easy to copy and paste and you don't have to access each single listing to make those changes, but it's also going to be more effective. So a lot of times if you've been in this situation, you go to your edit button and you try to edit, for example, the title, and even though you can save and submit, the changes haven't happened. And with this process, it's a lot more effective and you can actually more easily overwrite that information. So this is how I've been editing most of my listings lately, so highly recommend. And lastly, it's always one of the best ways because you can get some feedback. If there's something wrong during this process, if there's any errors or any reason why the change is not happening, then you're going to receive some feedback explaining the reasons of the errors, why something didn't go through, why you can't really change this aspect of the listing. So at least you would have that information not only for you to address it or for you to actually contact seller support. So highly recommend that you follow this step-by-step process. But before we dive in, if you do like the video, do not forget to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss any of our future videos. And without further ado, let's get to it. Here from Seller Central, just go to the main menu, hover over inventory, and click on add products via upload. Now, you may be brought to the second tab right here, but first, if you've never done this before and you haven't downloaded your category sheet template yet, you have to go to the first tab that says download an inventory file. From here, you're going to find the exact category that your current product is already in, or the exact category of the product that you want to add. So for this example, let's scroll down. You can either search or go down the category paths. Let's say I'm gonna do home and kitchen, kitchen and dining, wine accessories, wine glasses. Okay, let's say this is what I want to add in my current product in. They need to be in this exact category for this to work, or this is where I want to add my new product. So you just have to scroll down and then click on generate template. Okay, and then as you saw, you're going to have an Excel sheet downloaded to your computer. And if you do not have Excel, the program, it's no problem. You can use Google Sheets. It is a little bit different. You don't have access to everything, but you can still make it work. So let's do that option. So in order to use Google Sheets, well, at least what I do, I just upload it to Google Drive, or you can just email the file to yourself. And then once you open on the preview of your email, you will have the option at the very top that say, open this with Google Sheets. Or if you upload to your Google Drive and then just double click, it's going to open on Google Sheets. So don't get overwhelmed. There's a lot of information here. What you need to focus on, you can go through the examples and all of the instructions, but hopefully this video is going to simplify this for you. What you have to worry about is this template tab right here for now. And for each category, this is going to look a little bit different. But usually this first set of columns here on the first color that you get, those are the required fields. And then it's pretty long and you have to fill everything as much as you can. And I'll show you guys how to do that. So first, you would have to put the product type. And whenever you have a cell that has this little drop down menu, that means that it needs to be one of those selected options. It needs to be, for example, if you drop down, it needs to be this exact option, drinking cup. So for Google Sheets, sometimes it's going to show like it's showing here right now. But for Excel, it's always going to show it. It's completely optimized for Excel. But if you're using Google Sheets, I'll show you a little trick that you can do to make sure that you're selecting the correct value. So here you can just select the only option. For Google Sheets, as I said, you're gonna have this warning. So you just go ahead and continue editing because some features are unsupported. For example, the drop down, some of them. So just go ahead and click on continue editing. And now you just fill out as much as you can. So seller SKU, if this is a brand new product and you don't have it yet, just come up with one. Let's say you just do like, okay, just select the seller SKU that you want, then select your brand name. So most likely in the drop down menu here is going to be our brand name, the only option. Then product name, this is going to be the product title that you're going to put here. Product ID, it's going to be the UPC code or the ASIN. If you're just updating the product, you can do the ASIN or anything like that. If you are adding a brand new product, then use the UPC code here. And then product ID type. As I said, sometimes it takes a long time to load the options of the drop down menu, and sometimes it doesn't load at all. So here's the trick. You are going to come here to this tab under valid values. Make sure you know what you're looking for. So we're looking for the product ID type, and under valid values, right here on the color scheme that we're working on, you're going to find that. So product ID type, it needs to be exactly one of these words. So if it's UPC, honestly, what I do just to make sure I'm matching even the capitalized letters and everything, I just come here and I copy. I go back to template, and instead of copying it right here, because I don't want to overwrite the feature of the drop down menu, I just select the cell, come here, and then I paste it, enter. Because as you can see, if you notice, if I paste it right over here, sometimes the little arrow disappears. So let me see. See that the little arrow disappears. So sometimes that can cause an error whenever you upload this later. So I'm going to undo. Make sure if you're copying and pasting something, especially on the cells that have the drop down arrow, that you paste it right here. And that's going to be good to go. And again, make sure you're using the same capitalized letters. If the word has some spacing or it doesn't have spacing, do it exactly as this tab is showing you. And we're going to see that soon as well. So moving on, then there's the item type keyword. Again, you can try the drop down menu. If it doesn't load, you can come here and see what is the valid value for this. There's only one option. So wine-glasses. What I'm going to do is copy again, go to template. And even though there's no arrow here, just to be safe, I just paste it up here. So perfect. Now you can keep going on the required fields. The quantity, if this is an FBA fulfilled by Amazon product, then honestly the quantity doesn't really matter. They're going to pick up on the quantity of the inventory that you already have, or that you will send it later. So you can put 0, you can put 1. Then main image URL. I will say that this one, even though it's on the first colored column, you don't really need to have it. At least I've done it before several times, and I did not need the main image URL. It will upload it. If it's a brand new product, it will upload it as suppressed, and you'd have to go ahead later on and create that image. But what you can do, I'm just going to show you a quick example. If you have that image uploaded anywhere else on your computer, for example, let's say it's on Google, or you have your own website, or you just upload it to Google Drive, for example, this is what you can do. So let's say this is your brand, and this is completely random, and you have an image already uploaded on the internet. So what you can do is right click and then click open image in new tab. Then the new tab is going to open, and you're going to see that it's just the image. And what you can do is just go to the URL box and select the entire link, copy, go back to your template, and then paste the URL here. But as I said, if you don't have it online, you can always add it on later, or you can upload it online and get this URL. And then there's all of the other images that you can upload. You can do the exact same step-by-step process, or you can just do it later as well. And if this is an existing product, it's already on Amazon, and you're using the same product ID, like the ASIN or the UPC, then Amazon is going to pick up on that, and it's going to keep the images that you already have. Next, if this is a variation family, it's going to be a child ASIN or a parent ASIN, then you would have to do it here. So parentage, you can try the drop down menu, or you can come here to valid values over here. So for this listing that you're creating, is this going to be the parent or the child? So copy, go back to template, select the cell, put it here. Then the parent SKU. So let's just copy this right here and paste it here. Well, I should have done it up here. But anyways, you paste it on the cell. And on relationship type, let's see the options here. So you have accessory, variation, and for some reason they repeat it again, accessory, variation. So in this case, it would be variation. So I can just type it here, or you can copy and paste it. And then variation theme. So here are the options, because each category has different theme options. So you have to make sure to come here, either drop down menu or select one of these variation themes. And for this one, let's do a double theme. Let's do color material. So I'm going to go ahead and copy to make sure all of the capitalized letters and spaces are exactly the same. Come here, paste it, color and material. And then moving on to the next group this is very important. So the first time that I did this, the Seller Central support agent told me that if you're just updating a listing, you would select this option right here. Going back, you would select partial update. So I've done this several times and it worked, but a couple of times where I tried to overwrite something, then it didn't work and I had to use the option update. And update is usually when you're creating a brand new listing. So if it doesn't exist, then click update. You can also delete. So if you want to, if you have a big family and you just want to make sure that specific one is deleted, and definitely that's going to be faster than going one by one and deleting each listings. If you already have this sheet set up, later on you want to delete some of them, the quickest way would be to just in the update delete have the delete option. But coming back, then usually if you're just updating an existing listing, you would try this partial update. And if you're creating a brand new one, try the update. However, as I said, sometimes it didn't work for me and I just went ahead and used the complete update, and that worked for me. But just be cautious, because if you do that, make sure you back up your existing listings before you submit this sheet. It could be that maybe some things are going to be lost. Let's say you did not fill in all of the image URLs, then maybe those disappear if you're doing the complete update and they don't really recognize that, or if the bullet points disappears and you don't have it here on the sheet, then make sure you do this backup listing. And we already have a video here on the channel showing how to do that, so make sure you do it. But for now, let's say we're just going to do partial update. And then product exemption reason. So this one, as I said, from here on, there are a lot of columns that you will not need to fill in. A lot of them are going to be very specific to certain cases, like if, for example, certain types of exemptions, or if it falls within dangerous goods or anything like that. So if you did not use the UPC code and you need a GTIN exemption reason, then you can select one of those values. And then moving on, there's the product description. And even though the cell is very small, you can put the whole product description here. And if you have another file where you have that written down, you could just copy and paste it as well. Then the manufacturer, and sometimes it's totally okay for you not to fill this in. It depends on the category where this is going to be a required field or not, even though it's not showing on that very first set of columns. So if you have it, if you want to put your own brand, or if you know the manufacturer, you can go ahead and put it here. If not, just leave it blank and see if it goes through. Same thing with the manufacturer part number, model, model name, model year, everything, all of these things. And if we go here to discovery, then the key product features are going to be the bullet points. So just go ahead and paste your bullet point number 1 here, bullet point number 2 here. Let's say unbreakable. For example, just write your complete bullet point the way that you want to show. Then the next one, you put the next bullet point and you do everything for all 5 bullet points. Here are the search terms, and very, very important. So put your backend keywords. Here, you will not be shown like, oh, you have reached the limit of the 200 or 250 characters that you can use. Same thing with the bullet points or description. So make sure you have open like a character count in a different tab just to make sure you're falling under the allowed characters. But don't worry, because if you go over, all that's going to happen is that the changes are not going to go through. You're going to see some errors, and you just have to come back here and make those changes. Next, you're going to put the number of pieces, cents, and anything that you want to do. Now, the two columns that you, or one or two columns that you have to put information are the ones related to your variation theme. So because the variation theme is color, material, you have to come here and find color and material, and there needs to be a value in that cell. If your variation was item, package, quantity, then not necessarily you would have to fill out here purple, like the color, the actual color name. And same thing for the material. So just make sure that you definitely have the correct information for the specific variation theme that you chose. And moving on, you can just look through these. I just want to show you guys one more thing. You definitely want, if you can, you don't have to. A lot of times I notice that it's very difficult to update dimensions using the back end strategy of just going to the edit button and updating it there, especially if you're selling fulfilled by Amazon products, because those are usually determined by the warehouse team. They go ahead and measure, or sometimes you can request a remeasure of the exact weight and dimensions. And if you think they're wrong, you can start by updating their dimensions here and then submitting a case asking them to remeasure and re-weight your item to possibly reduce your FBA fees. So just beware that this is a little bit out of order. So for example, it starts with the units. So make sure you read the display length unit of measure, and you have to select one of those, like inches, centimeters, right here. So it has to be one of these. And again, make sure you use the correct uppercase and lowercase letters. So you have to put here, so the unit, and sometimes that's in different orders, depends on the category. Then the actual length, width, and height, then the weight, then the unit of weight. So grams, kilograms, and all that. So beware that sometimes there's like the unit of the length, then the length, then unit, then the number. It's all confusing. So make sure you read this to make sure you're putting the exact and correct information. If there is a unit count and the type of unit, let's say you're selling a set of 12 wine glasses, then you put everything here for the unit count, size map, anything that is makes sense for your product. Now, this is very important because I did not do this the first time that I used this process. And for Fulfillment Center, if you are updating an existing listing that is fulfilled by Amazon, you have, in my opinion, you have to fill out this column right here, the Fulfillment Center. If you're selling on Amazon US, you would have to put this one, Amazon_NA. And in this case, when you download your Google Sheets right here, you can see that you can select which countries you would do this for. So right here, it's already selected Amazon.com. So that's why that's the only valid option is the Amazon -NA. If you had different countries, then maybe you would have more options over here to where you could actually choose different options. But here, if it is fulfilled by Amazon, make sure to copy and paste this, because otherwise, if you're just updating an existing listing and you don't do this, then your items are going to be converted to fulfilled by merchant. And it's okay, you can go back and convert it to fulfilled by Amazon again, but it could be a mess. It could have some inventory stranded, and it could be a pain to actually go ahead and change every single one back. So make sure you do this. And here for package, so right here for these dimensions, this is about the unit, and this one's about the package. So, and when I say unit, let's say you're selling a set of 12 wine glasses, and if you have a box, that is a unit. The box of 12 is a unit. So you fill out everything like here. The package weight and height is because that box usually needs to go inside another box. And this would be the package height and width and length. However, Amazon's pretty much the one who determines which package they're going to use, or if they're going to use a bubble wrap and all that. So what I do is, honestly, I just repeat the smallest amount of the smallest numbers. So I just repeat the unit unless it's a bundle, unless it's, you know, specific to your case. But for our products, and they're usually just 1 unit of something, and I just go ahead and repeat those numbers here. And as I said, make sure you read which one the number goes and which one the unit goes. And lastly, there's a compliance. Usually I don't fill out any of this, but it might be very specific to your case. Is there some type of warranty? If you're selling any type of food or consumable, then most likely you're going to have to fill out some of these, or maybe even they're going to be showing in the very set of columns. All right, so once you fill everything out, what you're going to do next is, let me go back. You're going to go to File, Download, and then download the Excel file. And if you're using this in Excel, then you just have to save this file. Okay, next you're going to go back to Amazon, scroll up, oops. Now go back to the second tab right here, Upload your inventory file. Okay, here usually it's already at default, the inventory files for specific categories, but there are other options here that you might have to take a look at for your specific product. But I would say that the majority of the case, it's going to be this, inventory files for specific categories. You just have to click, choose file, and then upload the file that you just downloaded. Then you go ahead and put your email here, and the format of the file that you are uploading. So it's going to be Excel. In most cases, I don't really see anyone actually doing text unless you just downloaded a text file, made a little change, and then wants to upload it as text. But 99% of the time, it's also recommended to do Excel. And all you have to do is click on Upload. And then they will take a little bit of time processing all of the information. The bigger the amount of listings that you're trying to edit, the longer usually it's going to take. Or otherwise, if it's not that many, it might be very quick, just a few minutes. And what you can do is either go to this tab right here and monitor upload status. And you're going to be able to see here all of the different batches that, as they call it, that you have uploaded. And it's good to be able to come here and have this batch ID, because sometimes if you have any errors and you want to open a case or anything like that, they're going to request this batch ID number. So make sure you can just come here and copy, and you can keep track which one is which. And you're also going to receive an email, the email that you input when you uploaded the file here, and they're going to tell you if everything uploaded successfully or if there were any errors. And I'll show you an example right now. Okay, so you're going to get an email similar to this one, mentioning the batch ID number of the specific upload that you've done, and how many number of records have been processed, how many had errors. And the greatest thing about this that I really like, as opposed to just going on the edit button and editing your existing listings, is that sometimes something doesn't go through and you don't know why. But here at least they'll give you the type of error, and they're actually going to give you a little message here that right now is blurred, so you don't, because of sensitive information, but they're going to give you an example and tell you why it actually didn't go through. So you could actually go ahead and contact seller support and reference the error number that you see over here, and they might be able to give you some more explanation if you don't really know what to do. Or if the message is very clear, you could just go back to your template and address what's going on. Let's say that for one of the fields for product ID type, you forgot to add something or you misspelled it. Then they're going to say here, you just have to go back to your sheet and then edit and then download it again and upload it again. And if everything went through correctly and you didn't have any errors, it would just be a very short email saying numbers of records processed and how many listings you try to edit, and then number of errors 0, and then it's going to be good to go and your listings will be edited, or you're going to have added your new product. So I really hope this was helpful. Really like this new method, even though it could be a little bit overwhelming at first. There's just so many columns and you don't really know if you need to input every single thing. The first time that I did this, I actually had a seller support agent on the phone with me telling me each one, okay, is this required? What do I put here? Or what about in this case? So if you feel more comfortable doing that at first, so you can kind of get the handle of it, especially for your specific category, because as I said, it's going to vary based on your type of product, then you might as well do that. You call them and then you try to do this step by step with them to make sure you don't do anything wrong. Make sure you back up your listings, as I said. And so I hope this was helpful. And if you did like the video, be sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss any videos that we post, any other news that sometimes Amazon comes with latest news, and we're always posting here as well. Be sure to also join our Facebook group. We have an amazing community, always helping each other out. If you have any questions throughout your Amazon journey, we're always there trying to answer as many questions as we can. We have a whole unit section with lots of really helpful resources. So I highly recommend you join our Facebook group. And again, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys in future videos.